My favorite element on most roller coasters is the first drop. There's nothing quite like plunging down a great first drop. The best ones deliver strong airtime, and the truly elite ones can combine a spectacular view and maybe some additional forces like laterals. Having ridden over 1,150 different roller coasters, I wanted to rank the top 50 best drops I have experienced. Before starting the list, I want to note that I am only counting the largest drop on each coaster. That is why the following 7 drops will not be featured on this list. The 5th drop on the Ravine at Holiday World, the 5th drop on Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm, the 4th drop on Coaster at P&E Playland, the turnaround drop on Wild Train at Fantasiana, the turnaround drops on Shockwave at Six Flags Over Texas, the quarry drop on Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and the double down Jackrabbit at Kennywood. All of these drops are fantastic. And here are 3 additional honorable mentions. Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan has great whip and funky airtime while in that flying position. Big Bad Wolf at Busch Gardens Williamsburg had an iconic drop over the Rhine River where it felt like it'd fling off the track. It was one of the best visuals of any drop. Tonnerre des Zeus at Parc Asterix had great ejector airtime on the first drop, but it is being modified by the Gravity Group for the 2022 season, so I didn't think it was appropriate to include it. Number 50, Big One at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. This is one of the few drops in this list that offers no airtime. Instead, this Arrow Hyper Coaster has the stunning visual of the beach as you crest the lift hill, plus a violent twist in the descent that offers crazy laterals. Number 49, the Beyond Vertical drops on Gerstlauer Eurofighters and Infinity coasters. These super steep drops never fail to offer strong ejector airtime. The versions with the lap bar only trains are superior because you can better feel that airtime. The reason these aren't higher is because the drops tend to be on the shorter side, so the airtime is less sustained. Number 48, El Loco at the Adventure Dome. This is the lone SNS El Loco whose drop is not trimmed, and the result is some incredible ejector airtime while you navigate that Beyond Vertical drop. It feels like a slightly more sustained version of your average Eurofighter. Number 47, the older B&M Hypers. Speaking of sustained, the early B&M Hypers delivered tons of sustained floater airtime. These drops are some of the weakest on the list in terms of airtime strength, but the amount of time you levitated out of your seat with just those clamshell restraints make it very good. Number 46, Alpina Blitz at Nikoland. Mach's take on Intamin Megalite may be on the shorter side, but that drop delivers very strong ejector airtime in the back. There is a reason the back car has a higher height restriction than all the other rows. Number 45, Full Throttle at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This Premier Rides launch coaster places its largest drop at the end of the ride and it's positioned over the vertical loop. The drop offers strong ejector airtime to begin with, but the brakes halfway down the drop manage to fling you even further out of your seat. Number 44, Cyclops at Mount Olympus. Oddly, the final drop in this ride is the largest, but it packs a wallop. It offers some forceful ejector airtime if you're in that back car. I wish this ride still had the buzz bars, and if it did, it likely would have placed at least 20 spots higher. Number 43, Swamp Fox at Family Kingdom. The first drop on Myrtle Beach's Wood Coaster has great ejector airtime, especially because you have buzz bars, but it's just the warm-up on that ride. The later drops in this coaster are more forceful, but the first drop still delivers the goods. Number 42, OzIris at Parc Asterix. This is the lone B&M invert you'll see in this list. OzIris has a super steep, twisting plunge. I figured it would ride like Banshee's drop, but I was wrong. OzIris' plunge delivered a pop of ejector airtime paired with very abrupt laterals. These were foreign sensations on an invert. Number 41, Tornado at Bakken. This small, Intamin spinning coaster basically has a launched lift hill. You then speed over this banked first drop while spinning. This drop is pure chaos with the extremely violent whip, laterals, airtime, and spinning simultaneously. This drop can chop your neck, but I appreciate the ride's sheer intensity. Number 40, Formula 1 at Parc St. Paul. This Parc's Wild Mouse has its largest drop second, and it is perilously steep. And since you have good speed going into the drop, you get thigh-crushing ejector airtime. It is one of the strongest and most abrupt airtime moments on any coaster. It just isn't very sustained, which is why it is not higher. Number 39, Voyage at Holiday World. This Gravity Group wood coaster has an underrated first drop. It's quite tall and it delivers tons of sustained airtime as you drop into the woods. The power toes the edge of flagector and weak ejector, which is very good for a traditional wood coaster. Number 38, the newer B&M Hypers. The B&M Hypers built over the past decade have airtime that's just as sustained as the early ones, but the airtime feels a little bit more forceful, being of the flagector variety. Even those up front can get some floater airtime now. Number 37, Raging Bull at Six Flags Great America. One of the original B&M Hypers, Raging Bull features a short pre-drop that gives the train some speed into the large drop. And you get an abrupt pop of flagector airtime cresting the drop, and you stay levitated out of your seat the whole way down. You then rocket through a tunnel as a bonus. Number 36, the Top Hats at Intamin Launch Coasters. Many Intamin launch coasters feature a top hat. These elements offer great sustained ejector airtime in the back. The airtime is superior for the ones with straight drops, but the ones with twists sacrifice some of the airtime for excellent laterals. Some of my favorite examples are Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure, Stormrunner at Hersheypark, Taiga at Linnanmaki, and Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. Number 35, Maverick at Cedar Point. This Intamin creation starts with an abrupt beyond vertical drop. Thanks to the speedy LSM lift and a very sharp crest, you are absolutely launched out of your seat. This drop would be higher with more freeing restraints, but I still cannot deny how powerful this airtime is. Number 34, Arrow Shuttle Loops. This ranking is for the backwards drop midway through the ride. You are launched down the moderately sized drop, and this drop's profiling results in a very abrupt and jarring pop of ejector airtime. I'm a sucker for any kind of backwards airtime, and these coasters deliver. Number 33, Lech Coaster Lagnam. This Vekoma creation features a twisting, beyond vertical plunge. It delivers wicked laterals and good ejector airtime, but the vest restraints do take away some of the airtime's effectiveness, unlike the rides you'll find higher up in this list that have more freeing restraints. Number 32, Vekoma Giant Inverted Boomerangs. These enormous inverts feature a suspenseful backwards climb up a vertical lift hill, and then you're released with no warning. The drop feels more like that of a drop tower as you plunge face first towards the ground, getting a free falling sensation on the way more than airtime. Number 31, Cobra at Connieland. This Parc shuttle coaster starts with a beyond vertical lift hill and a sudden drop. The drop offers the free fall sensation of the giant inverted boomerangs, plus some floater airtime as well. Number 30, the RMC Hybrid Conversions. These steel coasters feature near vertical drops with abrupt and very strong ejector airtime. There are a few special hybrids I'll note later, but these drops are always powerful. Number 29, Colossus at Hyperhybrids. The original Intamin prefab wood coaster features a giant first drop at a rather steep angle. You do hit that max angle relatively quickly, but the super long trains generate a lot of whip in the back, so you get some strong and sustained ejector airtime back there. Number 28, Big Dipper at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. This wood coaster builds up more speed than you'd expect on that first turn, so you are flung over the oddly parabolic first drop, and you get some underrated and very powerful ejector airtime. Number 27, Ravine Flyer II at Waldameer. This Gravity Group creation has nice sustained ejector airtime on that drop, which heads down the ravine. And you also have that breathtaking visual of Lake Erie in the distance as you're falling down the hill. Number 26, Blue Streak at Connie at Lake Park. This is going to start a run on wood coasters with fairly high single position lap bars. This coaster was brutally rough in the valleys, but that first drop offered some shockingly strong ejector airtime. The seatbelt was super loose and it did nothing, so your thighs would smack right into the buzz bar. And the seat itself would also get airtime and spank you on the way down, but that's an entirely different story. Number 25, Big Dipper at Camden Park. This small wood coaster's largest drop is its second, and it tries to kill you. With no seatbelt and just buzz bars, you are launched a good foot out of your seat in a shocking display of ejector airtime. I do want to note that I've heard the back car is no longer rideable, but the airtime is still elite from the second car as well. Number 24, Cyclone at Luna Park. This wood coaster is super heavy trains, and if you get the back car, you are abruptly pulled down that first drop. With just a single position lap bar, you get some shockingly strong ejector airtime for a coaster that's nearly 100 years old. Number 23, the classic coaster at the Washington State Fair. You may find it curious why only the back row has a seatbelt on this wood coaster, but one ride in that row explained why. The third drop, which is the largest, starts with a turn off the prior turnaround that gives you some laterals, and then the drop tries to launch you in the Pacific Ocean. Just look at this drop's power. That has some serious ejector airtime. Number 22, Thunder Dolphin at Tokyo Dome City. This Intamin hypercoaster has a unique location in downtown Tokyo, so the visuals during the drop are breathtaking and absolutely make it. And this ride's sheer height also results in a long drop full of sustained floater airtime. It feels like a smaller version of the drop on Millennium Force. Number 21, Oblivion at Alton Towers. This is the lone B&M dive machine on this list, and it's because of the theatrics. Oblivion has a gigantic near vertical plunge into a super deep underground tunnel. It messes with your mind how far into the tunnel you go into the ground, especially because it's coated with fog, and you're levitating out of your seat the whole way down. Number 20, Flying Aces of Ferrari World. This Intamin coaster has similar trains to Skyrush, but this drop is a little bit tamer. Although tame is relative because it still has a speedy cable lift that flings you over the crest, so you get strong ejector airtime the whole way down. Number 19, Hyperion at Energylandia. This large Intamin hypercoaster features a very long drop into an underground tunnel, and you get plenty of sustained ejector airtime. Number 18, the RMC Hyper Hybrids. These colossal vertical drops have the familiar RMC ejector airtime, except it's more sustained due to the additional height of both Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point and Zadra at Energylandia. Number 17, the Arrow SNS 4D coasters. This is one of the few first drops on this list that does not offer airtime. Instead, this one offers one of the most terrifying visuals of any coaster. The seats rotate you to face the ground, and then you perform a wild flip right before the pullout. I love this element on both X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain and at Janaica at Fuji-Q Highland. It is so unique. Number 16, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion. This Intamin Giga coaster isn't as high as the other Gigas due to the more restrictive over-the-shoulder restraints, but you still get incredible sustained airtime the whole way down. It is one of the most underrated parts of this intense ride, which is pretty surprising. Number 15, Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Originally built by Arrow and updated by Morgan, this coaster makes the list for its famous second drop. The drop offers great ejector airtime at the start, but the second half of the drop produces a free-falling sensation similar to what you get on a drop tower, because your eyes are fixed on the horizon and you hold the same angle of descent for a long time. And the visuals are incredible. You have a factory in the distance as you look down the ravine, and then you pierce through Thunderbolt for one of the craziest head choppers on any ride. Number 14, the RMC Topper Track coasters. These Topper Track wood coasters have large, near vertical drops chock full of ejector airtime. That's especially true because 3 of the 4 have pre-drop segments that build up some speed going into them. And Wildfire at Colmarden, Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City, and Lightning Rod at Dollywood also offer stunning views as you're getting that unbelievable airtime. Number 13, the original RMC Raptors. Both Wonder Woman at Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Railblazer at California's Great America have a short pre-drop bit that builds up speed, and then you are thrown over a vertical plunge. You get insane ejector airtime. The ratcheting harness isn't as good as the restraints higher up on this list, but the airtime is so good and powerful the ride can overcome it. Number 12, Jersey Devil Coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure. This drop is a slightly wilder version of the prior RMC Raptors. This one is a little taller, and it features a longer 12-car train, so there's even more whip over the drop. You get incredible ejector airtime even more than the original Raptors the whole way down. I just wish the restraints were more freeing. Number 11, Cannibal Lagnam. This is the world's largest beyond vertical plunge. With hyper heights and a 116-degree angle of descent, Cannibal offers a super long drop with just a lap bar. It starts with powerful ejector airtime before transitioning to sustained floater airtime for the remainder of the drop. And you also get a stunning view of the Utah mountains as you're falling forever. Number 10, Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This RMC Hybrid has a powerful first drop. It's near vertical like the others, but this one is twisted 90 degrees, so you get powerful ejector airtime paired with wicked laterals. This drop is super wild, and it's one of the reasons I like Joker so much. Number 9, Millennium Force at Cedar Point. The original full-circuit Giga Coaster has an iconic near-vertical plunge. The drop delivers several seconds of sustained floater airtime, paired with the amazing visual of Lake Erie. It is one of the best views of any coaster. And you have those Intamin lap bars that allow you to lean forwards if you're up front to feel like you're skydiving. Number 8, Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland. The main drop in this Mach Extreme spinning coaster is incredible in the back row. You're almost guaranteed to be spinning for it, and it is accompanied by powerful ejector airtime. Anytime you can get airtime this strong while either sideways or backwards is magical. Number 7, Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. This Mach spinning coaster's drop is very similar to the one on Ride to Happiness, except I give it the edge for 2 reasons. 1, the visual of plunging down a hill is cooler. 2, because the drop starts out of the station, and the spinning starts right before the drop, you are guaranteed to take this drop either sideways or backwards. You can sometimes take it forwards and Ride to Happiness. Number 6, Skyrush at Hersheypark. This Intamin hypercoaster may have the most intense drop in the world. The cable lift hill flings you over this near vertical plunge. You get a very strong initial burst of ejector airtime, and then halfway down the drop, you somehow get bucked even further out of your seat. The reason this isn't higher is because it can be a little bit uncomfortable with the restraints, but ultimately I will take that for this ride's power. Number 5, the B&M Gigas. Whether I'm riding Fury 325 at Carowinds, Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland, or Orion at Kings Island, I love how these drops seem to last forever. It may be the most sustained airtime moment on any ride, as you get copious amounts of floater airtime thanks to those lovely clamshell restraints. Number 4, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This Intamin prefab has the best drop I've experienced on any wood coaster. The turn before the drop builds up some speed going into it, and then the massive first drop is super steep, and with a 6-car train, those in the back get absolutely whipped over the crest. The result is some of the most powerful and sustained ejector airtime of any coaster, and there's also a terrifying head chopper at the bottom. Number 3, Expedition GeForce at Holiday Park. This Intamin mega coaster has a twisting near vertical plunge. The T-bar restraints grant your upper body lots of freedom to feel the full force of the drop. You get a crazy burst of ejector airtime paired with very violent laterals, some of the best laterals on any drop. Number 2, Schwerdiskarnen at Hansa-Park. This Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster feels like a supersized indoor version of Expedition GeForce's drop. This one is actually vertical too. I think the laterals are a little less intense than GeForce's, but the ejector airtime feels a little stronger, and the drop lasts longer with that weird visual being indoors. And coming in at number 1 is Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This massive RMC hybrid has a near vertical plunge over a quarry wall. It is a dreamlike setting. You get incredible and sustained ejector airtime the entire way down. But because of the subtle S-bend on the drop, you also get laterals as you're jerked side to side while also ejected out of your seat. It feels downright wild. Lastly, you also have that breathtaking visual of going over the quarry, and you go into a tiny tunnel that creates a nice head chopper. Oh, and the Gerstlauer trains are more freeing than the RMC trains, so the airtime feels even more pronounced too. So those are my top 50 favorite drops on the roller coasters I have ridden. What are your favorite drops? Do you think I missed any? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Cannibal Coaster. Thanks for watching.